Have you ever stopped to look at the money in your hands? Not just as a simple coin or note, but as an object full of mysteries. There is something enigmatic about the symbols, seals, and figures that adorn banknotes from different countries. For many, they are just graphic elements. For others, however, they are portals disguised as banality, containing coded messages, ancestral wisdom, and even hidden warnings. Imagine for a moment if money, which you use every day, were more than a simple means of exchange. What if, as you looked at it, you were being introduced to a secret code, a language lost over the centuries, designed to guide those who truly know how to see beyond the surface? Behind the numbers, images, and texts, there may be a network of esoteric symbols that extends back to ancient civilizations and their occult traditions. In each figure, perhaps an echo of ancient philosophies, a reflection of cosmic forces, and even a clue as to how control over money is also, in some way, control over human consciousness itself. But what if I told you that these symbols have more to say than just representing monetary values? What could be hidden in the shadows of these emblems? In this video, we will explore the encrypted messages and deep meanings that lie inside a simple banknote. Prepare for a journey through forgotten symbols, mystical connections, and truths that have been hidden from all but the initiated. Because money, as you will see, is not just a mundane tool. It is perhaps one of the greatest mirrors of the human soul, reflecting not only our desires, but also the deepest mysteries of the universe. The history of money is, in some ways, an untold story. Although what we know about coins and banknotes is presented in a practical and straightforward way, few people stop to question the true origin of these symbols and the hidden powers they carry. What many ignore is that throughout history, money has always been more than a mere exchange of value. It has been a vehicle for mass control, a form of symbolic power, and also, in many ancient cultures, a compromise between the material and the spiritual. To understand the true essence of money, we need to go back in time to ancient civilizations. Egypt, Babylon, Rome, all of these empires not only minted coins with the faces of gods or emperors, but also integrated cosmic and spiritual symbols into their issuances. These symbols had a purpose: to align the forces of money with universal forces. They knew that the simple act of printing something could go beyond exchange, touching the human spirit in deeper and more invisible ways. But why hide these truths? Why did ancient civilizations, knowing the transformative power of money, choose to hide its deeper meanings? The fact is that, as history developed, esoteric knowledge and mystical symbols were gradually removed from the general public. Dominion over money and its meanings has become a secret restricted to a priestly and political elite who understand the hidden laws of the universe. While the general public was obsessed with exchange and accumulation, insiders saw beyond the surface. They understood that the symbols engraved on coins, banknotes, and even the financial system had a direct relationship with the forces that govern the cosmos and the human psyche. This knowledge, often veiled, was transmitted from generation to generation, but over the centuries, the secret language of symbols was distorted or even erased from the collective memory. Esoteric symbolism, which was once present in all spheres of life, including money, began to be relegated to the shadows, where few dared to look. And so, what was originally a key to profound understanding of the universe has been transformed into an insurmountable mystery for most. Over the centuries, with the rise of secret societies and the constant struggle for power, symbols were adapted and manipulated. Every change in the design of the ballots, every brand, every minute detail was unsolicited. Rather, it was an intentional choice, reflecting the dynamics of power and control in an increasingly secretive and complex society. Behind every symbol on money, there may be a link to these ancient mysteries, an echo of sacred geometry, a reflection of cosmic wisdom, or even a reminder that when it comes to finances, everything is interconnected on a deeper, unseen level. And for those willing to look beyond the surface, the answers we seek may be right in front of us, disguised in the very paper we shed every day. What many don't realize when looking at a banknote is that behind its numbers and images there are layers of meaning that transcend its material value. Let's start exploring this in more depth, starting with what's visible to the naked eye. Symbols. Money banknotes often display figures of great historical and cultural importance. But what few people know is that most of the time, these symbols are not just decorative. They are representations of philosophical, spiritual ideas, and in many cases, cosmic and esoteric structures. For example, look at a United States dollar bill. The famous pyramid with the all-seeing eye at the top, which appears on the back of the Great Seal of the United States, is not just a visual ornament. The pyramid represents spiritual ascension, the journey of matter to enlightenment and perfection, while the eye symbolizes divine vigilance, perception beyond the physical and connection with the divine. This image dates back to symbols found in ancient Egyptian civilizations, such as the Pyramid of Giza, which was also associated with the search for universal wisdom. The addition of the Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order of ages, reinforces the idea of a new era, an ongoing spiritual revolution, which suggests that behind the coin, there is a larger cosmic and philosophical shift underway. Another intriguing example is in the British pound. British currency, with its image of the crown and lion, dates back to medieval symbology and even the myth of Camelot and ancient mystical orders. The crown represents divine power and sacred authority, while the lion, often associated with figures such as King Arthur, is a symbol of courage, nobility, and a spiritual lineage that stretches back centuries. These symbols, as well as many others, serve not only to legitimize political or financial power, but also to align money with higher spiritual concepts. Now, we think about the currencies that circulate in our daily lives. Many of them, although seemingly simple, have features that are more than just trading tools. In China, for example, ancient coins often bore images of the dragon and phoenix, symbols of power, transformation, and regeneration. The dragon represents the forces of creation, while the phoenix is associated with death and rebirth. These coins were not only seen as forms of wealth, but as portals to cosmic energies and symbols of spiritual protection. These examples lead us to an intriguing conclusion. Money is not just an inert object that exchanges value. It carries a strength, a symbolism, an energy that goes back to spiritual and philosophical traditions that have been passed down through the generations. For those who pay attention, the design of banknotes and coins can be read as a spiritual map, a coded message about what is really important to humanity and how we connect to the cosmos. At the same time, this deep and esoteric symbolism is no accident. Each image has been carefully chosen to convey a meaning that, in many cases, is not immediately apparent. The way banknotes and coins are designed can be interpreted as a secret language which tries to accompany human beings to the collective, spirit and universal energy, using the medium of exchange itself to communicate messages of great depth. Now that we have begun to understand the surface of the symbols, it is time to delve deeper into the hidden meanings that hide within these images and inscriptions. When looking at money from an esoteric perspective, we realize that the selection choices are not mere coincidences. Every line, every color, every shape is meticulously designed to resonate with the deepest principles of the universe and the invisible forces that shape our reality. For example, we return to the all-seeing eye found on the dollar bill. The eye symbol is a representation of a higher consciousness, of an observing power that transcends the physical world. He is often associated with the concept of the Eye of Horus, a mystical figure from Egyptian mythology that symbolizes protection and spiritual enlightenment. But what's fascinating is that this symbol appears not just as an emblem of vigilance, but as a constant reminder that there is a hidden power monitoring our every move, even in the context of finance. This eye is not just related to political surveillance or the security of an empire. It is also closely linked to the concept of self-knowledge and the search for inner truth. The eye, as a symbol, has the function of reminding us that true wealth is not just in the accumulation of material, but in the ability to look beyond the illusions of the physical and see the spiritual laws that govern the universe. Thus, as we look at banknotes, we are called to see more deeply, not just the nominal value they represent, but the hidden meanings they contain. Another intriguing example of occult symbolism can be found on the United States 1-cent coin, where the image of Abraham Lincoln is accompanied by a set of numbers and stars. Lincoln's choice is not just a historic milestone, he represents a figure of spiritual transition. Lincoln was seen by many as an enlightened leader, someone who, in freeing the enslaved, also freed a deeper part of the collective soul of the American people. The stars that surround him then symbolize the path of spiritual ascension, a reminder that the true rule is that of the spirit and not that of material power. Additionally, an often overlooked aspect of money design is geometric patterns, such as the shapes of circles, triangles, and other sacred shapes. These patterns are not only aesthetic, but reflect the principles of sacred geometry that permeate the entire universe. Sacred geometry, known to many occultists and philosophers, is seen as the universal language of God and creation. Each form flows a vibration. These vibrations influence human consciousness at deep levels. The use of such shapes in the design of money is a way of connecting the material to universal energy, of aligning the mundane with the divine. These symbols may seem harmless or even trivial at first glance, but when observed as tools with an esoteric eye, they reveal themselves to be powerful in manipulating the collective consciousness. Money then becomes not only a form of economic power, but also a form of psychological control. Those who understand the meaning of these symbols hold the key to guiding the spiritual and mental direction of the masses, even without people realizing it. Even more intriguing is the fact that behind these symbols there are often encrypted messages or codes that have been carefully hidden to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. These codes can refer to forbidden knowledge, teachings from ancient secret societies, or even regular spiritual practices that have been suppressed by history. The messages on money are not only a reflection of social control, but also a reflection of the spiritual struggle that takes place in the shadows of material reality. And for those who can crack these codes, money becomes more than a medium of exchange. It becomes a vehicle of power, transformation, and in some ways, enlightenment. Now that we have uncovered the hidden layers of symbols that adorn banknotes, an intriguing question arises. How can we use this knowledge in our daily lives? How can we, in a practical way, integrate the symbolic power of money into our lives and transform it into a tool for personal, spiritual, and even material growth? First, we must understand that money is not just a medium of exchange. It is a reflection of our relationship with abundance, power, and control over our own energies. When we begin to look at money as a symbol, we can begin to alter our perception and our attitude towards it, transforming it from a simple material resource into a powerful force of spiritual transformation. A simple but effective exercise is to meditate on the symbols present on the banknotes we use. Choose a bill that you use frequently. whether it's a dollar bill, a euro bill, or any other currency. Sit in silence and carefully observe the symbols on it. Try to understand what each image means, not just in a financial context, but on a spiritual level. What do the pyramid, the eye, the number, or the historical figures represent? What are these symbols saying? What is the spiritual value you are absorbing by handling that bill? During meditation, visualize yourself integrating the energies of these symbols into your own life. For example, when focusing on the all-seeing eye, visualize it representing your own ability to see beyond material limitations to the universal abundance that is all around you. As you look at the sacred geometry on your coin or note, visualize these shapes connecting you to a cosmic web of energy, a reminder that you are always aligned with the universal flow. Another interesting practice is the creation of a financial altar. Instead of seeing your money as just an ephemeral exchange, you can treat it as a symbol of spiritual and material prosperity. Place a special note or coin in a prominent place in your home, such as a small altar or sacred space. By doing this, you are consecrating money with a positive intention, no longer as something that controls you, but as a reflection of your own ability to create and attract abundance. Use this space to reflect on your relationship with money, and every time you go there, reinforce your intention to manifest prosperity, balance, and harmony in your life. Additionally, one of the most powerful ways to integrate the symbolic power of money into your life is by practicing gratitude. When dealing with any form of currency, be it a note or a coin, practice recognizing the abundance it represents. Gratitude is an essential key to unlocking the flow of positive energy, and by being sincerely grateful for the wealth you possess, you open the doors to more manifestations of prosperity. You can also understanding money symbols in your affirmations or visualizations practice. When focusing on the idea of forests, use the symbols on the ballots as focal points. Visualize yourself as a person connected to the universe and the abundance it offers, knowing that you are in tune with the cosmic laws that govern the flow of money and energy. The real magic, however, happens when you understand that money is more than a tool of exchange. It is an expression of universal energy and our own ability to manifest desires. By changing the way you perceive money and the symbols that accompany it, you transform not only the way you use it, but the way you relate to the universe of possibilities it represents. In the end, money, just like any other aspect of material life, is an extension of your own internal energy. The more you align your consciousness with the hidden energies and symbolism it carries, the easier it will be for you to bring about the abundance, success, and inner power you desire. The secret, then, is not money itself, but in your ability to see and understand the symbolism it carries, a power that, when recognized and used wisely, can open doors to a higher level of existence and more aligned with universal truths. As we finish our exploration of the symbols hidden in money, we are left with an undeniable truth. What we often take to be simple representations of material value are actually portals to a deeper understanding of reality and cosmic power. Money, at its core, is more than a medium of exchange. It is a reflection of our connection to the universe, a vehicle for spiritual energies that shape our lives and our society. The symbols present on banknotes and coins carry deep meanings that go far beyond superficial explanations. Every image, every line, every number serves as a reminder of the search for truth, the connection with the divine, and the power that resides within each of us. With this in mind, it is essential that we begin to look at money not just as a worldly necessity, but as a sacred tool that can guide us in the search for enlightenment, forests, and harmony. Now, with the knowledge you have gained, the question is, how will you begin to apply these truths in your own life? What are you going to do when you look at a bill or coin now? Will you see her just as an object of exchange, or will you finally realize the hidden power she carries? The choice is yours. Remember that money, like everything that exists, is a manifestation of universal energy. By aligning yourself with the symbols and deep meanings that money represents, you can transform your relationship with it and the world around you. The real secret is not in what you have, but in how you understand what you have and how you connect with the invisible forces that govern the flow of life. Let this knowledge inspire you to look beyond the surface. The universe, with its infinite possibilities, awaits those who know how to decipher its secret codes.